Welcome to Mindcraft, the space where we explore the architecture of our inner world. I'm your host, and today we embark on a journey that is perhaps one of the most crucial for our mental and spiritual freedom, the art of releasing. Let's start with a question. Do you ever feel heavy? Not just tired, but heavy, as if you're carrying an invisible backpack with you every single day? When you wake up, it's there, a familiar weight settling on your shoulders. As you move through your day, you unconsciously add things to it, piece by piece. A harsh word from a colleague that stings more than you let on. A vivid memory of a past failure that flashes in your mind at an inconvenient time. The heavy cloak of an unmet expectation you placed on yourself or others. A lingering, formless fear about the future. No one else can see this backpack, but you feel its weight in every cell of your being. It makes your shoulders ache, your steps heavy, your breath shallow. Over time, it even shapes your posture, becoming a physical manifestation of your inner state. It's the reason you feel tired even after a full night's sleep. Have you ever felt that? A silent, invisible force holding you back, draining your energy, making joy and peace feel like distant luxuries? That backpack, that immense, unseen burden, is the sum of everything we have yet to let go of. Today, we're going to learn how to put that backpack down. This isn't about forgetting, suppressing, or pretending the past didn't happen. That would be denial. This is a conscious, courageous act of liberation. It's about acknowledging the weight, understanding its contents, and then making the deliberate choice to no longer carry it. We will explore not only how to release these burdens, but more importantly, why we cling to them so tightly in the first place. Because only by understanding the roots of our attachments can we truly pull them out and reclaim the vibrant, boundless energy that is rightfully ours. To truly grasp the power of release, we must first bravely look at why we hold on. These attachments aren't random. They serve a hidden, often self-protective purpose for our minds, even if that purpose is slowly poisoning our peace. Psychologically, one of the primary reasons we cling to the past, especially a painful one, is that it has become part of our identity. The story of what we've endured, the betrayals, the hardships, the injustices, shapes our sense of self. I am the person who was cheated on. I am the person with a difficult childhood. I am the one who failed at that major project. These narratives, while negative, are familiar. They give us a script, a defined role to play in the drama of our own lives. The survivor, whose entire social circle is built around support groups, or the workaholic who failed a big project and now identifies as washed up. Their story, though painful, is the known territory upon which their entire sense of self is built. In a strange way, there's a safety in that victimhood. We know the lines, we know how to feel, and we know how others might react to our story. Letting go means facing a terrifying void. If I am no longer a victim of my past, then who am I? The fear of an unknown self, of having to write a new script from scratch, can be greater than the chronic pain of a familiar one. Then there's the subtle mind trap known as the illusion of control. When we constantly ruminate, analyze, and agonize over a past event, we trick ourselves into believing we are still doing something about it. It's a mental hamster wheel. We think that if we just analyze it enough, from every possible angle, we'll find a hidden meaning, a secret key that will unlock our pain, scratch, or somehow retroactively change how we feel. It's the mental equivalent of rewatching a game you've already lost, hoping that this time, if you just pay closer attention, you'll spot the exact moment you could have changed the outcome. But the outcome never changes. Only your exhaustion deepens. Holding on to anger or regret creates a false sense that we still have a connection to, and therefore some control over, the situation or person who hurt us. It's a refusal to accept powerlessness over what has already passed. To let go feels like admitting defeat, acknowledging that it's truly over and we are powerless to change it. For the ego, which thrives on agency and control, this is a bitter pill to swallow. Spiritually, the reasons run even deeper and become more profound. From an energetic perspective, every intense thought and emotion creates what is known as an energetic cord, an invisible thread connecting you to that person, place, or event. Imagine fine, luminous threads extending from your energy field to every major hurt, every lingering resentment, every unresolved conflict, Even if years have passed and miles separate you, these cords remain active. Think of them like a faulty charger plugged into your phone. Instead of giving you energy, they are constantly siphoning it away, draining your life force and feeding you old, stagnant energy from the past. This is why you sometimes feel exhausted, irritable, or sad for no apparent reason. You are unconsciously feeding these toxic connections. Clinging is the act of refusing to unplug and cut these cords. Furthermore, from the perspective of karma and soul lessons, our tendency to get stuck in repeating patterns, attracting the same type of partner, facing the same kind of challenge at work, is often a sign of an unlearned lesson. The universe, or our own higher self, presents us with similar scenarios until we finally grasp the wisdom they offer. For example, if your lesson is about self-worth, you might repeatedly find yourself in situations where you feel undervalued or overlooked. As long as you cling to the role of the victim and the anger you feel towards others for not seeing your value, you are stuck in the loop. Releasing, in this context, isn't about condoning their behavior. It's about recognizing the lesson for you. To learn to validate yourself from within, to build unshakable self-worth that doesn't depend on external approval. When you finally learn that lesson and release the need for others to make you feel worthy, the cycle breaks. Finally, clinging is one of the ego's favorite games. The ego is built on stories, labels, and the concepts of right and wrong. It loves to be right. It thrives on the role of the martyr, the victim, or the tragic hero because these roles give it significance. When you hold on to anger because someone wronged you, the ego feels validated and powerful. It gets a sense of moral superiority. I am right, they are wrong, and my anger is justified. This justification feels like a shield. To release that anger requires a profound humility, a willingness to value your inner peace more than your need to be right. This is a monumental inner battle because the ego will whisper 1,000 reasons to hold on. It will tell you that letting go is weakness, that it means they've won, that you are letting them get away with it. But the spiritual truth is the opposite. Releasing is the ultimate victory. It is freeing yourself from the prison the ego has built, a prison where being right is your life sentence. But our journey to understand this clinging doesn't stop within the confines of our own skin. We are not islands. Our internal worlds are profoundly shaped by the external world, by the stories we are told, the societies we live in, and the cultural air we breathe. This brings us to the social and cultural dimensions of holding on. This is the invisible architecture around us that often encourages, and sometimes even demands, that we keep our backpacks on. Think for a moment about the stories that have shaped our world. From epic literature to blockbuster films, we are often presented with narratives that glorify pain and romanticize attachment. Consider the archetypal tragic romance, where love is measured by the depth of longing and the agony of separation. The characters who suffer for years, unable to move on, are often portrayed as the most passionate, the most devoted. Their inability to let go is framed as a testament to the greatness of their love. Or think of the classic revenge epic, a cornerstone of storytelling across cultures. The hero is defined by their singular, all-consuming quest to avenge a past wrong. Their refusal to let go of their rage is not seen as a flaw, but as their driving force, their source of strength and honor. The message, whispered to our subconscious, is that holding on to pain can be noble. It can give our lives meaning, purpose, and a dramatic storyline. In this context, letting go can feel like a betrayal of the very intensity that makes life feel significant. It can feel like choosing a boring, colorless existence over a life of passionate, albeit painful, purpose. Beyond these grand narratives, there's a more immediate personal dynamic at play: the social currency of victimhood. This is a delicate topic, but a crucial one. When we have a story of suffering, it often becomes a way we connect with others. It elicits sympathy, care, and attention. Our friends gather around us, our family offers support. Our pain becomes a focal point for connection. In a strange way, our wound can become a bridge to others. There is a very real, though often unconscious, fear that if we were to heal, if we were to let go of our story of being wronged, we might lose that connection. Who will we be in our social circle if not the one who went through that terrible thing? Will people still care about us if we are no longer in need of their support? It's a fragile foundation for connection, one that requires you to perpetually bleed in order to be seen. Healing threatens this ecosystem, forcing you to find a new, more robust way to relate, one based on who you are, not just what happened to you. This dynamic creates a powerful, subconscious incentive to stay stuck. The pain becomes a familiar, reliable way to ensure we are not alone. Releasing the pain, then, feels like a social risk. It means stepping into a new role, one that might feel more isolated, and it requires us to learn new ways of connecting with others that are based on shared joy and strength, not shared grievance. And here we arrive at a fascinating modern paradox. While some cultural forces encourage us to hold on, our fast-paced, productivity-obsessed society simultaneously bombards us with the opposite message, creating a phenomenon known as toxic positivity. This is the relentless pressure to get over it, to think positive, to find the silver lining immediately. We see it in well-meaning but unhelpful advice like good vibes only, or everything happens for a reason. While the intention might be good, the impact is often damaging. It invalidates our genuine feelings of grief, anger, and sadness. It denies us the necessary time and space to actually process our pain. It's a demand for a premature resolution, a spiritual shortcut that leads nowhere. It asks you to build a new house on a toxic foundation, ignoring the cracks and the rot that will inevitably bring the whole structure down. True emotional release is not about skipping over the negative feelings. It's about moving through them. It requires us to sit with our discomfort, to honor our anger, to cry our tears. The pressure of toxic positivity forces us to do the opposite, to suppress, to deny, to put on a happy face while the wound festers underneath. This is not letting go. This is spiritual bypassing. It's like putting a neat bandage on a deep infected wound without cleaning it first. On the surface, it looks better, but underneath, the infection is spreading. This is why so many of us feel a constant low-level anxiety. We are carrying around mountains of unprocessed grief that our culture has told us we shouldn't have. Contrast this with older cultures that had structured communal grieving rituals, formal periods of mourning that acknowledged the depth of loss and gave the entire community permission to feel. They understood that healing is not a race. By rushing the process, our modern world has inadvertently made it harder than ever to truly, authentically let go. So you see, the act of holding on is not just a personal choice. It is supported by the stories we love, the social dynamics we depend on, and the cultural pressures we face. Understanding this allows us to have more compassion for ourselves. It helps us see that the decision to release our burdens is not just a personal act of healing, but a quiet, revolutionary act of defiance against a world often, in one way or another, asks us to stay wounded. And beyond the psychological, the spiritual, and the societal, there is a profound, undeniable physical reality to these burdens. This is where we look at the neuroscience and physiology of holding on. That invisible backpack has a very real, tangible weight inside your body. Every time you replay a painful memory, every time you ruminate on a past injustice, your brain cannot tell the difference between a past event and a present threat. To your amygdala, the brain's ancient, primal alarm system, the danger is happening right now. Instantly, it sounds the alarm, triggering a cascade of biochemical reactions designed for one purpose: survival. This is the famous fight or flight response. Your adrenal glands pump out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate skyrockets, your blood pressure rises, and blood is diverted from your organs to your limbs, preparing you to either fight off a predator or run for your life. Your muscles tense, your breath becomes shallow and rapid, and non-essential systems like digestion, immunity, and even rational thought are put on hold. This is an incredibly effective system for surviving an acute short-term threat. But what happens when the threat is a memory? A regret? A grudge? The threat is never ending because it lives inside your mind. This means the alarm never turns off. Your body is perpetually stuck in a low-grade state of fight or flight. Imagine keeping a car engine revving in the red line, day after day. Eventually, it breaks down. That is precisely what holding on does to your body. Chronic elevation of cortisol leads to systemic inflammation, which is now understood to be the root of countless modern diseases. It weakens your immune system, making you more susceptible to illness. It disrupts your digestive system, leading to issues like IBS and acid reflux. It exhausts you, leading to chronic fatigue. It literally wears your body down from the inside out. At the same time, your brain is physically changing. Every time you travel down a particular thought pattern, for instance, the loop of, "It wasn't fair, they shouldn't have done that," you are strengthening a specific neural pathway. Think of it like creating a path in a dense forest. The first time you walk it, it's difficult. But the more you travel that same path, the wider, clearer, and more defined it becomes. Eventually, it becomes the default route, the path of least resistance. This pathway becomes a superhighway in your brain. Thoughts naturally and effortlessly flow down this route, while the paths to peace and neutrality become overgrown and difficult to access. It's not a lack of willpower, it's brain architecture. This is why negative thought loops and emotional reactions can feel so automatic and inescapable. You have, quite literally, hardwired your brain for that specific form of suffering. The invisible backpack is no longer just a metaphor. It's a physiological state, a set of deeply ingrained neural circuits that keep you locked in the past. So with this understanding of why we cling so tightly, from our psychology to our physiology, let's do something courageous. Let's open the backpack. It's time to take an honest inventory of what's actually inside. So what's inside your backpack? For many of us, the heaviest items are past hurts and betrayals. Can you feel the weight of one now? Perhaps it's a cruel word from a parent that became a core belief of, "I'm not good enough." Or the sting of infidelity from a partner that shattered your ability to trust. We replay these scenes in our minds, and with each replay, our nervous system fires as if the event is happening right now. Our bodies re-experience the original pain, the surge of adrenaline, the tightening in our chest, the sickness in our stomach. We are, in effect, re-traumatizing ourselves daily, reinforcing those very neural pathways of pain. Another subtle but incredibly heavy burden is clinging to old versions of ourselves. Perhaps you're attached to a past you who was more successful, more attractive, or happier. You scroll through old photos, comparing your present self to this idealized ghost, and feel a constant, gnawing disappointment. Or, conversely, you might be attached to a negative version of yourself. You made a big mistake years ago and have branded yourself a failure or a bad person. This self-imposed label sabotages every new opportunity, whispering, "Don't even try, you'll just mess it up again." This is a form of identity foreclosure, where you refuse to allow yourself to evolve. Then there's the immense weight of unfulfilled expectations, the life that should have been. We draft a perfect script in our minds, often influenced by societal pressure or social media highlight reels. When reality deviates, when our career path falters, a relationship doesn't work out, or life simply proves to be messy and unpredictable, we become bitter and resentful. Our energy leaks into mourning what isn't, instead of being invested in appreciating and creating joy in what is. Now, having looked at these burdens, we arrive at a critical juncture, a crossroads in the healing journey that determines whether we stay stuck or move toward freedom. It's essential to understand that thinking about our pain is not inherently bad. In fact, it's a necessary part of healing. The crucial distinction lies in how we think about it. This is the difference between getting caught in the whirlpool of toxic rumination and engaging in the forward-moving current of healthy processing. Let's first dissect toxic rumination. The word ruminate comes from the Latin for how a cow chews its cud, chewing, swallowing, regurgitating, and chewing again. It's a perfect metaphor for what happens in our minds. Rumination is the act of passively and endlessly replaying a painful event. It's the broken record of your mind, stuck on the same scratchy part of the song. You're not just remembering the event, you're reliving it. You rehear the hurtful words. You re-feel the sting of betrayal. You re-experience the shame of failure. It is a completely circular process. There is no new information, no new perspective, and absolutely no resolution. Rumination is a master of disguise. It masquerades as productive problem solving. Your mind tells you, if I just think about this a little more, I'll figure it out. I'll understand why it happened. I'll find the perfect thing I should have said. But this is an illusion. The true, hidden goal of rumination is not to solve, but to validate. Its aim is to endlessly gather evidence for a case that has long been closed. a case where you are the righteous victim and they are the irredeemable villain. It's about reinforcing your sense of injustice, marinating in your anger, and solidifying the story of your suffering. It feels strangely satisfying, like scratching an itch that only makes it worse. This is because on a neurochemical level, the intense emotions generated by rumination, like rage and self-pity, can provide a powerful, albeit toxic, rush. We can literally become addicted to our own stress hormones. Each time we ruminate, we are taking another hit, further deepening those neural pathways of pain until the loop becomes our brain's automatic comfort zone. Rumination is not a path to healing. It is the act of reinfecting the wound day after day. So, what is the alternative? The alternative is healthy processing. If rumination is a passive whirlpool, healthy processing is an active, intentional journey down a river. It may have rapids and difficult passages, but it is always moving forward towards the open sea of resolution. The first key difference is intention. The intention of healthy processing is not to blame or validate, but to understand and release. It starts with a fundamental shift from asking, "Why did this happen to me?" to asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" This moves you from a position of powerlessness to one of empowered curiosity. Healthy processing is characterized by several key qualities. First, it is embodied. Rumination is a purely mental activity. It happens from the neck up. Healthy processing involves your entire being. It means allowing yourself to actually feel the emotions in your body. Where does the anger live? Is it a fire in your chest? A tightness in your jaw? Where is the grief? Is it a hollow ache in your stomach? A lump in your throat? Instead of just thinking about the emotion, you breathe into the physical sensation. You give it space. You allow it to be there without judgment. This is crucial because emotions are simply energy in motion, emotion. When we allow ourselves to feel them physically, we allow that energy to complete its cycle and move through us, rather than getting stuck and festering within us. This is why a good cry, a primal scream into a pillow, or shaking your body can feel so incredibly cathartic. You are physically discharging the old, stuck energy. Second, healthy processing is compassionately curious. It doesn't just replay the old story. It asks new questions from a place of kindness. Questions like, what was the deeper need of mine that wasn't met in that situation? Perhaps it was a need for safety, respect, or connection. What core belief about myself or the world did this event trigger? Maybe it triggered an old belief that you are not worthy of love. What can I learn from this about my own boundaries? This line of questioning shifts the focus from the external event to your internal landscape. It's no longer about them, it's about you. It's about using the experience as a mirror to understand yourself more deeply. Finally, healthy processing is inherently forward-looking. While it requires courageously looking at the past, its purpose is always to inform and empower your present and future. The goal is to extract the wisdom, integrate the lesson, and then let the rest go. It's about asking, now that I understand this, what will I do differently? How will I show up for myself in the future to ensure my needs are met and my boundaries are honored? This is the final, crucial step that rumination never takes. It takes the pain and transforms it into a building block for a wiser, stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Perhaps the clearest way to understand the difference is through a simple, physical metaphor for healing. Rumination is the act of picking at a scab. You keep reopening the wound, preventing it from healing, ensuring it will leave a deep scar, all while re-experiencing the initial pain. Healthy processing, on the other hand, is the act of cleaning the wound. It might sting in the moment to disinfect it, but you are doing it with the clear, loving intention of allowing it to heal properly from the inside out, so that one day only a faint, silvery line will remain, a testament to your ability to heal. So, the crucial first step is to recognize when we are caught in the toxic loop of rumination. And once we see it, how do we consciously shift into the healing path of healthy processing? This is where our practical toolkit comes in. This is how we begin to unpack. So how do we begin to unpack? How do we truly release these burdens and walk freely? This is not a one-time fix, but a practice, a series of conscious, powerful acts. And the good news is this: just as our brains can be wired for stress, they can be rewired for peace. This is the power of neuroplasticity. The practices we are about to explore are not just philosophical ideas. They are scientifically backed tools for changing your brain and body from the inside out. The foundation of all transformation is awareness and acknowledgement. You cannot release what you don't realize you're holding. Start with a simple mindfulness practice. Sit in silence for 10 minutes a day. Don't fight your thoughts, just observe them with gentle curiosity. When a painful memory arises, label it gently. This is the memory of X. When anger tightens your chest, note, this is the feeling of anger. By observing without judgment, you create a space between you and the emotion. You realize you are not your pain, you are the awareness that witnesses it. This separation is the first step to reclaiming your power. Now, what's happening in your brain when you do this? You are strengthening your prefrontal cortex, the most evolved part of your brain, responsible for rational thought, awareness, and impulse control. You are essentially activating the watchtower of your mind. From this watchtower, you can look down at the chaotic activity of your amygdala, the brain's primal alarm system, and say, "Thank you for the signal, but we are not in immediate danger." This is just a memory. This simple act of observation calms the storm. It signals to your body that the threat is over, allowing it to shift out of fight or flight and into the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and digest mode. This is where true healing happens. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your muscles relax, and your body can finally begin to repair the damage caused by chronic stress. Once you are aware, the next step is radical acceptance. This powerful concept, taught by psychologist and meditation teacher Tara Brach, doesn't mean you condone what happened. It doesn't mean you're okay with being hurt. It simply means you stop fighting with reality. You stop screaming at the universe, "This shouldn't have happened." Instead, you take a deep breath and acknowledge the plain, stark truth. This happened. In that moment, you drop your resistance. Resistance is the fuel that keeps pain alive. It's the moment you stop pulling on the rope in a tug of war with a past that will never budge. You simply drop the rope. There's a sudden release of tension, a quiet space where there was once a struggle. In that space, healing can finally begin. Brock speaks of the second arrow. The first arrow is the actual painful event. It happens and it hurts. The second arrow is the one we shoot at ourselves, our resistance, our rumination, our self-blame. Radical acceptance is about refusing to fire that second arrow. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Radical acceptance is the moment you stop struggling. Only then can you calmly and clearly find a way out. With acceptance comes the time for rituals of release. Our minds love symbolism. A symbolic act sends a powerful message to your subconscious that you are ready to let go. Try a fire ceremony. Write down everything you wish to release on a piece of paper. Before you burn it, safely in a fireproof bowl, thank the experience for the lesson it taught you, however painful. Say, "Thank you for the lesson. I now release you with love." As you watch the paper turn to ash, visualize it burning away the energetic cords and emotional blockages. Or use the power of water. Stand in the shower and imagine the water washing away not just dirt, but all negative energy, old thought patterns, and lingering sadness. As the water flows over you, affirm, "I cleanse my past. I wash away the pain. I am clear." You can also practice a simple breath ritual. Inhale deeply, imagining you are breathing in peace and calm. Exhale completely, making your exhale longer than your inhale. Imagine you are breathing out the old story, the old pain, watching it dissolve into the air around you. This is not just a calming technique, it's a direct biological intervention. Long, slow exhalations directly stimulate your vagus nerve, a massive nerve that runs from your brain to your abdomen, connecting to nearly all your major organs. The vagus nerve is the main highway of your parasympathetic nervous system. Activating it is like hitting the brakes on your stress response. You are manually, physically telling your entire body that it is safe to stand down, to relax, and to heal. Finally, after you release, you must consciously address the space that is left behind. This is the stage of refilling and reparenting. If you create a void and don't fill it with something positive, old patterns, those well-worn neural pathways will rush back in. Fill that space with self-compassion. This is not self-pity, it is active kindness. Speak to yourself as you would a dear friend going through a hard time. Place a hand on your heart, feel its warmth, and say, "You did the best you could with what you knew then. You deserve peace now." You can add other phrases like, "It's okay that you're feeling this way. This is a normal human reaction to a painful event. I am here with you, and we will get through this together." These acts of kindness are potent neurochemical cocktails. Self-compassion, especially involving gentle physical touch, like placing a hand on your heart, can trigger the release of oxytocin, the love and bonding hormone. Oxytocin is a natural antidote to cortisol. It reduces fear, lowers anxiety, and increases feelings of safety and connection. Fill that space with gratitude. Each day, name 3 specific things you are grateful for in your present life. This practice literally rewires your brain. It forces you to scan your reality for positives, strengthening the neural circuits associated with joy and contentment. Practicing gratitude has been shown to boost levels of serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters responsible for regulating your mood, motivation, and sense of pleasure. You are not just thinking positive, you are actively changing your brain chemistry, carving out new, healthier neural pathways for joy and resilience, making peace the new default path, and most profoundly, fill it by reparenting your inner child. Many of our deepest burdens come from childhood wounds where we felt unsafe, unseen, or unloved. Now, as an adult, you can become the wise, loving parent the child always needed. Close your eyes and visualize your younger self. Ask that child, what do you need right now to feel safe and loved? Maybe it's to hear you are safe. Maybe it's to be told you are wonderful just as you are. Maybe it's just a hug. Give yourself that. Visualize yourself providing that comfort and security. This heals the wound at its very root, building a foundation of inner security and unconditional love that no one can ever take away from you. The art of releasing is not a destination. It's a continuous journey, a daily practice. There will be days you feel light as air, and other days when an old weight seems to reappear, triggered by a song, a scent, or a random memory. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. This is not a failure. It is simply part of the process, an old neural pathway firing out of habit. Every time you notice it and gently redirect your attention back to your breath, back to the present moment, back to compassion, you weaken the old connection and strengthen the new one. Every time you consciously choose to let go of even one negative thought, you strengthen your inner freedom. So now, let's return to that invisible backpack one last time. Picture yourself slowly, deliberately, slipping the straps off your shoulders. Feel the immense weight lift. Feel your spine straighten, your chest open, your breath deepen. You set the backpack on the ground. You look at it, perhaps with a sense of gratitude for the lessons it held and the strength you built by carrying it, and then you turn and walk away, unburdened. The path ahead is open. The air feels fresh and full of possibility. Your steps are light. For the first time in a long time, you feel truly wonderfully free. This isn't a fantasy. This is your natural state, your birthright, written into your very biology, waiting to be reclaimed. This lightness, this is your true nature. Thank you for joining us on Mindcraft. May your journey be light, and may you walk in freedom. Until next time.